Hello everyone, welcome to Learning Gothic Episode 1, Sounds and Symbols. This is a Parchment Lore production. If you'd like to learn Gothic seriously, I recommend you have a dedicated notebook or file on your computer for notes. Also, take a look at the resources provided at the end of the video for more and more detailed information. The pronunciation and grammar for the Gothic language learned in these videos is primarily based off of the writings of Joseph Wright. Today we'll go over the Gothic alphabet, some notes about the alphabet, alphabet practice, notes about transcription, phonology, notes about the phonology, phonology practice, today's vocab, and some resources for self-study. It should be noted that the attested names for the following letters are somewhat corrupted and do not necessarily represent how we would normally transcribe or even pronounce Gothic. At any event, the Gothic alphabet features the letters Aza, which is used for A and 1, Berkna, which is used for B and 2, Gewa, which is used for G and 3, Daz, which is used for D and 4, Ez, Quetra, Ezek, Hal, Thiuth, Is, Cosma, Laz, Manna, Noth, Yar, Uraz, Petra, Copa, Reda, Sörel, Tius, Winne, Hwe, Enguz, Huer, Utal, and finally Sampi. Two different symbols are used for denoting the letter I in Gothic, ease and ease with a diaeresis mark. The latter is used at the beginning of a word and to show that an I sound does not form a diphthong with the previous vowel, so the difference between I versus I. The letter without two dots is used in all other situations. The letters Copa and Sampi are only used for their numerical values 90 and 900 respectively, and don't have any significance in relation to sound. Speaking of which, when Gothic symbols are used to denote a number, there will either be a dot before and after them, or a line above them, so Noth with a dot before and after, or with a line above would both mean 50. When writing more complex numbers, all we need to do is add symbols onto each other. So 556 can be broken down to 550 and 6, or Fe, Noth, and Quetra. When abbreviations are made in a Gothic text, especially of holy names, a line above it will be displayed, just like when the symbols are used for numbers. The letter Enguz occurs only in a few select Greek words borrowed into Gothic, and is pronounced simply as K. The ancient Greek U sound, upsilon, is rendered through the letter Winne in Gothic, and is probably pronounced as a short I sound, which we'll cover later. In our transcription to the Latin alphabet from Gothic symbols, we'll borrow the letter thorn from the Old Norse and Old English alphabets, which is pronounced as the TH in thistle, not the one as in that. Based on the convention of the books Grammar of the Gothic Language by Joseph Wright and a Gothic Grammar with Selections for Reading in a Glossary by Wilhelm Braune and Gerhard Hubert Balg, check out the resources at the end of the video, we'll use W for W, though others may write it as V, Q for Qua, though others may write it as KV or QU, Huer for Hua, though others may write it as HV, HW, or even W, and Thorn for Tha, though others may write it as TH. Now that we've gotten the basics out of the way, let's do some exercises with the alphabet. Decipher the following Gothic words and numerals into both the Latin alphabet, the one used for English, and familiar numbers using your notes. Take a second to pause the video if needed. Are you ready? Great job! Number 1 is ABA, number 2 is STANDAN, number 3 is IBUKS, number 4 is UBILABA, number 5 is 223, remember those dots, 11 is FRUMISTI, number 12 is GAHLAIBA, number 13 is AWILIUDON, number 14 is MA Thorn, LEIN, and number 15 is the number 552. Here on out, due to convenience, we'll be using a transliteration of Gothic symbols to the Latin alphabet. However, it's still important to know the Gothic alphabet for your own research. Notable missing letters when reading Gothic transcribed in such a manner include C, X, and V, while the letter Y is only used for Greek loanwords into Gothic. Now we're going to go over the phonology, also known as the inventory of sounds, of this language. Let's start with the vowels. Gothic transcriptions include the elementary letters A, E, I, O, and U, and Y for Greek words, in addition to the elementary digraphs AI, EI, IU, and AU. The short A sound, as in the German Mann, is written as simply A, and is found in words like Ahwa, meaning river, Allan, meaning to grow, Waldan, meaning to rule, Barn, meaning child, and Sanguis, meaning song. The long A sound is pronounced something like the English father, and is written in this series as A with a circumflex. In native Gothic words, it's always placed before H. It's found in words like brachte, meaning brought, unwachts, meaning blameless, and fahan, meaning to catch. The letter E is only ever found in its long counterpart A, like the English maid. It's written in this series as E with a circumflex, but before vowels it turns to the sound AI, which we'll cover later. However, in texts such as the Gospel of St. Luke, it may be written as EI or even I. The opposite may also be true, where E with a circumflex is written where EI or I should be instead. This sound is found in words like names, meaning agreeable, faheths, meaning joy, yer, meaning year, and quains, meaning wife. The short I sound is something like the English bit, and is written in this series as simply I. Sometimes it may be written as E, and in turn it may be used to represent long E. It's found in words like itan, meaning to eat, chlifan, meaning to steal, gifts, meaning gift, and fisks, meaning fish. Short I, when used as a substitute for long E, is always long. I before H, where, or R is always broken to AI. Rarely, IJ may be written as I. The long I sound is something like the English read, and is written as EI, following the Greek tradition. It's written in words like bitan, meaning to bite, swine, meaning swine, mannagi, meaning many, and gastis, meaning guest. Similar to E, the O sound is only ever found in its long counterpart O, like the English mode. It's written in this series as O with a circumflex. In some texts it may be confused and written as U and vice versa. Occasionally, long O before vowels becomes AU. It's found in words like brothar, meaning brother, oran, meaning to fear, sokyan, meaning to seek, and froths, meaning wise. The short U sound is something like the English put, and is written as U. Occasionally, it may be written as O. When before H, where, or R, the U becomes AU, like how short I becomes AI. It's found in words like yuk, meaning yoke, sunnus, meaning sun, drus, meaning fall, and lusnan, meaning to perish. The long U sound is something like the English rude, and is written here as U with a circumflex. It may be written as O with a circumflex in the word uchtigo, meaning opportunely. When before vowels, long U becomes AU. It's found in words like ut, meaning out, thusende, meaning thousand, huchrus, meaning hunger, and uchtwo, meaning daybreak. The following diphthong IU is pronounced as ew, something like the English ew. Before vowels, it may be written as IW. It's found in words like biudan, meaning to offer, dius, meaning animal, eup, meaning upward, and diups, meaning deep. The digraph AI is used for 3 distinct sounds. We use the presence or absence of an accent to determine which sound is meant. AI with an accent on the I is pronounced as as in the English rest, and is found before H, R, and where, and in some reduplicated syllables. AI with no accent is pronounced as as in the English red, and AI with an accent on the A is pronounced as I, as in the English I. The digraph AU is also used for 3 distinct sounds. As in the case before, we use the presence or absence of an accent to determine which sound is meant. AU with an accent on the U is pronounced as aw, as in the English not, and is only found before H, where, and R. AU with no accent is pronounced as aw, as in the English ought, and AU with an accent on the A is pronounced as ow, as in the English out. Now we're off to the consonants. The transcription system devised for Gothic consonants to the Latin alphabet includes the consonantal letters B, D, F, G, H, where, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, thorn, W, and Z. The letter B may be pronounced two ways. B initially as well as medially and finally after consonants, as in barn meaning child, blins meaning blind, arbe meaning heritage, and beran meaning to bear. And voiced by labial fricative v immediately after vowels, as in liuva meaning deer, livan meaning to live, and gravan meaning to dig. The letter D may also be pronounced in two ways. Da initially as well as medially and finally after consonants, or when geminated, as in dags meaning day, husd meaning treasure, and bindan meaning to bind, and the immediately after vowels, as in father meaning father, bade meaning bed, and biudan meaning to offer. The letter F is pronounced as the bilabial voiceless fricative f, though you can get away with the English f. Examples of words featuring F include father meaning father, fulls meaning full, ufar meaning over, fünf meaning five, and wolfs meaning wolf. The letter G may be pronounced in four different ways. G initially, finally, and immediately when not between vowels, as in bugyan to buy, and tagla hares. R immediately between vowels, as in stiran to ascend. Ch when post-vowelic G or GS at the end of a word, such as dags meaning day, and nga when before K, G, GW, or Q, as in bringan meaning to bring, and drinkan meaning to drink. However, it should be noted that some instances of GGW are instead pronounced as a lengthened GW sound, gwa, as in tryggus, meaning faithful. The letter H may be pronounced in two ways. H, initially before vowels as well as medially between them, as in havan, meaning to have, husd, meaning treasure, and gatihan, meaning to announce, and ch in all other positions, as in yach, meaning and, chleifs, meaning loaf, or nachts, meaning night. The letter where is pronounced either as a labialized hua or a voiceless hua, as in the word what in some dialects of English without the wine merger. Examples of words with this sound include huila, meaning time, ahua, meaning river, and neus, meaning near. The letter J is pronounced as in the English yet. It only ever occurs medially and initially. Examples of words with this sound include yuk, meaning yoke, fians, meaning fiend or enemy, and jungs, meaning young. The letter K is pronounced the same as English. Unlike English, it must be pronounced word initially when before consonants like N. Examples of words with this sound include kniu, meaning knee, akars, meaning field, and ik, meaning eye. The letter Q is pronounced as in the English queen. Unlike English, the letter U does not necessarily follow this letter. Examples of words with this sound include sinquan, meaning to sink, and requis, meaning darkness. The letter S is always pronounced as in the English chess, never as in cheese. Examples of words with this sound include sivun, meaning seven, sama, meaning same, and gras, meaning grass. The letter thorn, as said before, is pronounced as in the English thistle or thorn. Examples of words with this sound include eth, meaning oath, fliuhan, meaning to flee, and tunthus, meaning tooth. The letter W is pronounced the same as English, but even word initially before consonants and between consonants, such as recan, meaning to persecute. The letter R is trilled as in the Spanish rojo. When a consonant is doubled, except in some cases of GG as explained before, the time it takes to pronounce the sound is lengthened, as in modern Italian. This is called a Germanic consonant, like the constellation Gemini, which means twins. So we have atta, meaning father, and manna, meaning man. In Gothic transcriptions, there are, for the most part, no silent letters. Be sure to refer to these rules and sound out each part of a word. Using your notes, see if you can pronounce the following Gothic words given the previous rules. Take a moment to pause the video if needed. Are you ready? Great job! Number 1 is thankyan, meaning to think. Number 2 is havan, meaning to have. Number 3 is ivans, meaning even. Number 4 is brunna, meaning spring, like a well. Number 5 is dags, meaning day. Number 6 is rex, meaning crooked. Number 7 is thars, meaning need. Number 8 is querrus, meaning gentle. Number 9 is huerban, meaning to walk. Number 10 is fader, meaning father. Number 11 is gravan, meaning to dig. Number 12 is bjudan, meaning to offer. Number 13 is drinkan, meaning to drink. Number 14 is stigan, meaning to ascend. And number 15 is haugs, meaning high. Today's vocabulary includes hels, meaning hello or greetings, guth, meaning goodbye, and gothiuda, meaning goth. Here are some resources for self-study, and in fact the same resources that I used to make this video. We have Grammar of the Gothic Language by Joseph Wright, a Gothic Grammar with selections for reading and a glossary by Wilhelm Braune and Gerhard Hubert Balg, a Primer of the Gothic Language by Joseph Wright, a comparative glossary of the Gothic language with special reference to English and German by Gerhard Hubert Balg, and das gothische Runenalphabet, eine Abhandlung by A. Kirchhoff. Thanks for watching. For more information about the Gothic language and other interesting topics, be sure to visit my website parchmentlore.com. If you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe, and push the bell icon to get notifications on new videos. Now, discover lore on parchment and learn a language. Farewell, good travelers. Guth.